Good morning everyone. Today we are going to learn the second prose, a nice cup of tea. Written by George Orwell. It is his pen name, his real name is Erwick Arthur Blair. He was born on June 1903 and he was passed away in January 1915. Better known by his pen way, George Orwell was an English novelist, essayist and journalist and critic. Those whose works was marked by the clear prose, awareness of social inequality. So, most of his works are based on the social awareness. Orwell wrote literary criticism, poetry, fiction and so many journalisms. He is best known for his work Animal Frame in 1984 and 2008 the Time ranked him the second list of the 50 greatest British writers since 1947. So, he is an Indian born British writer. He was born in Bihar when the British ruled India. So, let us go to the topic. Read. Now, he had given one essay. In this essay, he had overall highlights the distinct features of preparing a nice cup of tea. A nice cup of tea. Cup of tea, it means, it is an idiom, it has a meaning, it means a favorite work. Okay. See, how to prepare a nice cup of tea I had explained in this lesson. If you look up a tea in the first cookery book that comes to the hand, you will probably find that is unmentioned, or that most you will find a few lines of sketchy instructions which give no ruling on the several of most important points. So, if we take on cookery book means the book which is written the ingredients on the recipe, how to prepare that cooking book. If we go to the cookery book, what we can think, in no book we can see how they had mentioned how to prepare a tea. Even if that mentioned, they won't explain you very detailed, simply they will give the outline how to prepare a tea. In no books we can find more important detail about how to prepare the tea. So, here author had given us the instruction how to prepare a nice cup of tea. This is crucial not only because the tea is one of the mainstay of the civilization in this country as well as in the Irie, Australia and the New Zealand, but because the best manner of making it is the subject of the violent disputes. If you started, there is a great number of argument is there. No one had come to the conclusion by saying this is the perfect making of tea. So, in this country, in England, this is civilization, this has become as a one among the civilization that drinking a tea. So, here he is going to explain us how to prepare a tea. Now, I look through my own recipe for the perfect cup of tea. I find no fewer than the 11 outstanding points. So, now he is going to tell us the 11 steps how to prepare a tea. On perhaps 2 of them could not be pretty a general agreement, but the least 4 other are acutely controversial. Here are my own 11 rules, every one of which I regard as a golden. So, if we say 6 point, 2 is agreeable and another 4 is controversy, means exactly they have an opposite opinion. So, here he is going to tell us the 11 points how to prepare the tea. This all considered to be the golden rules. So, this let us see what is the first point. First of all, one should use Indian or Ceylonese tea. So, if you want to prepare a tea, the first point we have to select, it is the Indian tea or Ceylon tea. The China tea has a virtue which is not to be despised nowadays. It is economical and one can drink it without milk, but there is not much stimulation in it. China, he had at the first point he had mentioned we have to select Indian or Ceylon tea, and next point is telling the Chinese tea is not less than any other, because that is a virtue, it has a good quality, but what happened, we can't able to hate that tea. Nowadays it is economical, it means we can get very cheaply the Chinese tea, and no one can drink it without milk. So, we can one can drink without milk. So, we can easily drink the tea without milk, but there is not much stimulation in it. So, if we drink tea, what happen, automatically we may have some energy, but such energy is not present in China tea. So, China tea we can get, it also good, but it is cheaply it is available in the market, as well as it do not have that much energy. So, one does not feel wiser, braver or more optimistic after drinking it. So, after drinking the China tea, we won't feel more wiser, or we won't feel more braver, and optimistic means we have a positive energy. We do not have a positive energy after drinking the China tea. Anyone who has to use that comforting phrase, a nice cup of tea, invariably mean Indian tea. If we started saying the nice cup of tea, definitely it belongs to Indian tea. If you say the name, the brand, the name itself, the nice cup of tea denotes the Indian tea. So, Indian tea, only the Indian tea can give us a nice cup of tea. So, the first point he had said, we have to select the Indian tea or Chinese Ceylon tea. He had explained also the Chinese tea. Chinese tea is not a bad, but it do not have the more stimulation. So, second point, the tea should be made in a small quantity, that is in the teapot. So, if you want to prepare a tea, we have to prepare only in a teapot. The tea out of an urine is also tasteless, while the army tea made in the cauldron taste of the grease and the whitewash. So, if it urine means a big vessel. So, if you start a big pot, if you started preparing tea on a urine or in the cauldron is also similar to the big pot. So, if you started preparing the tea in a big pot, it will not have any taste. In the army tea, what happened? In army there is many numbers of people will be there. So, they used to prepare in a very big pot. That tea, how it tastes like a grease or the whitewash. It do not have any good taste. Simply it is a boiling whitewashed, like chunambu. The teapot should be made of the China or earthenware. So, the teapot, how it should be? It should be, the vessel should be made up of China. China means not in China product. We used to say the pinga patram, in Tamil we used to say, no, the ceramic bowl, that is called China, and earthen pot, manpandam. Silver or the Britannia, where the teapot produce inferior tea, and the enamel pot are worst. So, if the silver or the Britannia, it means the shiny silver pot. If we prepare tea on that, what happened? It won't be that much worse, but if you started preparing the tea on the enamel pot means the colored pot, it is a worst. So, the second point he had said, we have to make a tea only in a teapot in a small quantity, not in a cauldron or urine, because it does not give a proper taste. And he said the teapot should always be a China or earthen pot. Next, the third point, the teapot should be warmed beforehand. This is better done by placing the hoop than by usual method of swelling it out with the hot water. So, he is telling the third point, we have to warm the pot before placing the water in it. So, what we will do usually, we will wash the water, the pot with the hot water. It means washing, swelling. So, we should not wash the water with the hot water. So, before preparing the tea, we have to make the pot to be warm. Okay. Let us see the fourth point. Fourthly, the tea should be strong for the pot holding a quart. If you are going to fill it nearly a brim, 6 heaped teaspoons would be about a time. In the time of rationing, there is not an idea that can be realized on another day of the week, but I maintain that one strong cup of tea is better than 20 weak one. So, he is telling how to prepare the tea should be strong. If you are preparing the tea more quantity, it won't have any taste. So, he is quoted one point, what, one strong cup of tea is better than 20 weak one. So, the weak means the dilute tea, it equivalent to one strong cup of tea. So, all the true tea lover not only like a tea strong, but like a little stronger each year that passes. So, each tea lover, if you started drinking tea, first we started to drink in a mild taste. Later it goes on, we will strengthen the strongness of the tea. So, likewise the people those who are year passes they started drinking the tea, they need more strong, the taste will be keep on increasing. The fact which is recognized is the extra ration issued to the old age pensioner. So, here they had funnily he had described, because the pension of the government, the rationing of the government is giving more for the old age pensioner. So, they have started keeping the favor, increasing their favor of drinking tea. So, the first one he had said we have to choose the Indian or Ceylonese tea. The second he had said we have to prepare a tea only in a small quantity, as well as the pot is made up of earth or the china. The third he said the pot should be warmed before, then the fourth it should be hot. Fifth, the tea should be put straight into the pot, no strainer, no muslin bags or other device to imprisons the tea. In the some countries the teapots are fitted with a little dangling basket under the spot to catch the strain leaves, which was supposed to be harmful. Actually, one can swallow the tea leaf in the considerable quantities without ill effect, and if the tea is not loose in the pot, it never infuses properly. So, in some country what they will do, the dangling basket, it means simply they will hang a basket in the teapot and they will drop some bags inside it. We should not do that. We have to pour the tea leaf inside the water, it has to spread throughout the pot and it has to boil properly. Sixth, one should take the teapot to the kettle, not to the another way about. The water should be actually boiling at the moment of impact, which means one should keep it on the flame while one pour. Some people add that one should only use water that has been freshed. So, the fifth point he had explained us, we should not use any tea bags or strainers or the dangling baskets or some muslin bags. We should not use that. We have to pour the tea powder inside the pot. In sixth point he had said we should take the teapot near to the kettler, not the kettler to the teapot. So, because the kettler is ready at the boiling stage, if you started taking the kettler to the teapot, in the meantime it will get cool. So, we should not do like that. Some people they will say only we have to prepare the tea in a fresh water brought to the boil, but I have never noticed that it makes any difference. Arthur is telling he don't have a opinion on this, whether we want to use the fresh water or the old water. It is not going to give any difference. The seventh, after making the tea, one should stir it or better give a pot a good shake, afterwards allowing the tea to settle. So, the sixth point, after pouring the tea powder in it, what he says, we have to take the teapot to the kettle, not the kettle to the teapot. The seventh stage, we have to, what he said, we have to stir the pot properly, then only it will allow the tea leaves to settle down. The eighth, one should drink out the better breakfast cup, that is a cylindrical type of cup, not a flat or the hollow type. The breakfast cup hold more, and with the another kind of one tea is always half cold before one has well started on it. So, the eighth point what he said, we want to drink a tea in a cylindrical cup shape, not a flat or the hollow shape. If we started drinking that, what happened, before completing the 1 cup of tea, it will become cold. And the ninth, one should pour the cream of the milk before using it for the tea. The milk that is too creamy always give tea a sticky taste. So, we have to remove the cream on the milk, then we have to pour it into the cup. Otherwise, if we pour with the cream, what will happen? It will give a sticky taste. The 10th, one should pour the tea into the cup first. This is the one of the most controversial point of all. Indeed, in every family in the Britain, there was probably 2 schools of thought on subject. The milk first school can bring forward some fairly strong argument, but I maintain that my own argument is unanswerable. That is, this is that by putting the tea the first and stirring as one pour, one can exactly regulate the amount of milk, whereas one is liable to put is too much of milk if one does not it the another way around. So, another argument, there are 2 types of peoples in Britain, they have started speaking. One type of people they are telling first we have to pour the milk. Another type of people, another group of people they are telling that we have to pour the tea first. But his argument is unanswerable. He is telling by his side that he had to pour the tea first, then only milk, then only we can able to know what is the quantity of milk has to be used in this tea. So, lastly the tea, unless one is drinking in a Russian style, should be drank without sugar. I know very well that I am in the minority here, but still how can you call yourself a true tea lover if you destroy the flavor of your tea by putting the sugar in it? It could be equally responsible to put it in the pepper or salt. If you sweeten it, you are no longer taste the tea. If you are merely tasting the sugar, you could make the very similar drink by dissolving the sugar in a plain or hot water. So, now he is telling we have to drink the tea without adding the sugar. If we add the sugar on it, what will happen? It will give the taste of sweetness. It never give any taste. It is equivalent to adding the pepper or the salt in it, the tea. So, better we, instead of adding the sugar, better we can taste the tea by adding pepper or salt. So, he is telling if you want the tea to be sweet and better we can drink the drink by adding the sugar in a plain hot water. That is equivalent to preparing the tea. So, the only way we have to drink the tea should be in a Russian style without adding any sugar. The first he had, let us recall the 11 points. First he said we have to use the Indian tea or a Ceylon tea. He had not said anything bad on the Chinese tea. Chinese teas also have a good quality, but it is the only thing it did not stimulate us. Then the second point, the tea should be made in a small teapot, not in a big cauldron. And in the army and all, they used to prepare a tea in a very big pot. It never gives any proper taste. The teapot should be China or earthen pot. The third point, the teapot should be warmed before. And the fourth point, the tea should be strong. If you prepare a dilute tea, what happens? It is equal. If you prepare 20 tea, it is equivalent to 1. And the fifth, we have to pour the tea directly into the pot. Then sixth, we should not use the tea bag or any stainers or something else. Then the sixth point, he said we have to take the teapot near to the kettle, not the kettle to the teapot. The seventh, he said the tea leaf has to be stir it well. The eighth point, we should drink tea in a cylindrical cup. And ninth, he said we have to take off the cream from the milk and we have to pour it. If you pour it directly, it never give a good taste, it have a sticky taste. Then the 10th point, we should pour the tea first, not a milk. Then if you pour the tea, then we add the milk, then we come to know what is the proper quality of adding the milk on it, quantity of milk on it. The last one, we have to drink the tea without sugar. If you add sugar, then what happen? It will give a sweetened taste, not a tea taste. Some people would answer that they won't like a tea in it itself, they only drink it in order to warm or stimulate. Then they added sugar to take the taste away. So, simply if they added the sugar, what happened? The taste of the tea will go away. Some people they are arguing, they are justifying that the way we are drinking the tea only to have a warm or the drink which has to stimulate them. To those misguided people, I would say try drinking tea without sugar for and say the fourth night means 15 days. The fourth night, and it is very unlike that you will never want to renew your tea with sweetening it again. If he says if you started having the habit of drinking tea for 15 days, automatically what will happen? You will lose the interest of adding the sugar in it. These are not the only controversial point to arise the connection with the tea drinking, but they are the sufficient to show how stability the whole business has become, and there is also the mysterious social iniquity surrounding the teapot. So, now it is what is going on, the people they are having the habit of drinking the tea with the sugar. So, there is not only the controversy point arose with the tea drinking. So, this is not the only point, there is a opposite opinion about the people, but they are sufficient to show how stability the whole business has become. So, now they have to show how sufficient the peoples are drinking tea in this whole world. There is a only mysterious social duty surrounding the teapot. So, we can't able to say this is the right thing, the unknown mysterious thing is going behind and much might be written about the subsider uses of the tea leaves, such as telling fortunes, predictions the arrival of the visitors, feeding rabbit, healing the burns, and sweeping the carpet. It is worth paying attention to such detail as warming the pot and using the water that is really boiling. So, what happened by way of drinking tea, and how this help us to tell the fortunes. Fortunes means the future, the predictions they will tell, and whether the arrival of the visitors also will be conveyed by drinking the tea, whether the people, some visitors are going to come to their house or not. This all the myths, I think so. Feeding rabbits, we can feed the rabbits this tea leaves, and we heal the burns. If we have a wound, we can place the tea leaf on it, definitely it will heal, and even we can use for facials also, and how we are sweeping the carpets. This all purpose we can use the tea leaves. This is worth paying attention to such details of the warming the pot and using the water that is really boiling. So as to make the quite sure of the writing out of 1 rations of the 20 good strong cup of the 2 ounce properly handling out ought to represent. So, if you pour more tea, more quantity of tea, better we can properly make a tea of placing the 2 spoon of tea powder in it, it will give us a perfect tea instead of making a large quantity of tea. This is the extract which is taken from the collected essay, journalism and the letters of George Orwell, volume 3, 1943 to 1945. The Penguin ISBN 014, there is a number they had given. Let us read the text. So, just you go through the prose and you narrate a small outline essay how to prepare a perfect tea, or if you have a personal opinion to prepare a tea, you can write your points, you can include your points also. That should be a 2 different essay. One is a thing which is mentioned, the 11 points which is mentioned in the text by the author. Another question you have to prepare, that is on your own, how to prepare a tea better than this 11 points. Thank you.